Hello, everyone. Dr. David Adler, President of the Australian Jewish Association. I'm very pleased to be able to talk to Councillor Daniel Rosenfeld from Randwick Council, who, no prizes for guessing from his name, is part of the Jewish community. But more importantly than that even, he's been standing up for certain values. Daniel, thank you so much for agreeing to talk to the AJA. Now, can you tell me, you've got a bit of a story about flags and Randwick Council. What happened?
Okay, basically, what happened is that earlier in the year, I basically had a successful resolution to raise the Israeli flag for the 75th anniversary of Yom Ha'atzmaut. The reason I did that is because the flag is also done similar for the 200th anniversary of Greek independence back in 2020. So the precedent was set, and there's a large Greek community and there's a large Jewish community in the Randwick LGA. And the Greens tried to stop that, but they weren't successful. So that went ahead, and it was a great day. Then in the June meeting, a Greens councillor basically put up a motion to raise the Palestinian flag on November 29th of this year, which is the, you probably heard, the UN Day of Recognition of Palestine. Myself and my four other Liberals voted against it. However, it had enough support in the chamber to pass. And basically, I did report this to the Australian Jewish News at the time. There was an article about it, but basically let it go because that was our attempts to overturn that were defeated, and that was that. Then obviously come the events of October 7th, and I basically decided to call pretty much soon after the October 7th an extraordinary meeting of Randwick Council in order to overturn that, given the horrific events of October 7th. And so we finally had our meeting on Monday. I thought it actually might be a little bit earlier, but the mayor has to set the date, and the mayor was a little bit slower than what I would have thought to set the date. Anyway, it was happening on Monday of this week, and pleasingly, as probably most people have heard, it was successful with 8 in favour of my motion not to raise the Palestinian flag, and 4 against, which are the 4 Greens. We had 2 abstentions from Labor, but we still won comprehensively. Also, we had a very large contingent of the Jewish community in the public gallery. It was basically all the seats were taken, and then there was overflowing going out the door. So that was very pleasing for me, and it certainly does help get a resolution through by having so much support in the gallery. So yeah, I'm very pleased that our flag won't be raised. We also did a resolution to have a minute's silence for all those affected, which we did after basically just before the meeting concluded. So yeah.
Okay. Well, look, congratulations, Daniel. It's important to stand up on that. At the moment, we see, as you know, an association between what some people call the Palestinian flag, even though it was only brought into being in 1964. It's the Jordanian flag without the star. They weren't very imaginative. And it certainly does have an association with the terrorism. We've seen rallies of Hamas supporters shouting anti-Semitic slogans, carrying those flags. So well done, Mazal Tov. Now, can I ask you 2 things? What is it with the Greens? What's your perception of the attitude of the Greens? And I'll then say something a little bit provocative about them, but you go first.
Yeah, well, for some time now, the Greens seem to have taken one side in this particular conflict, and not really looked at the whole picture. And I've basically seen that they don't really understand the full history of the conflict. The fact that in 1948 both the Jewish people and Arabs living in the area were given a proportion of the land, and the Arab persons didn't take up that offer. They don't really see that through the history. They don't. Yeah, they seem to be far too biased towards one side and not the other, unfortunately.
Well, Daniel, I'm going to take things a step further. You can agree or disagree. The Greens are the only political party in Australia to reject the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism. Now, if you believe that is the appropriate standard, and both Liberal and Labor and the federal parliament and the New South Wales parliament, as well as others, have passed such motions, then technically the Greens party are anti-Semites as an organisation. In view of recent developments and their failure to condemn what happened on October 7, we're saying they're unfit for public office and every party should put them last. It'll be an interesting discussion. But there's another question I want to ask you, Daniel, and that is the role of local government, because we've seen, as you know, in Canterbury Bankstown, also some intervention. Is it the role of local government to get involved in foreign policy?
Well, yeah, not really. Our primary role is basically what we always say, the 3 R's: rates, rubbish, and roads. However, if there is a motion to raise a flag at the town hall, it is basically up to the council to decide at a meeting, and hence when we discuss that at that meeting, we will discuss the background to that. I personally would not have looked to raise the Israeli flag for 75 years Yom HaTzmaut in a basically a local government building had we not already done so for the Greek Independence Day, which I and it's on the record, I fully supported that, 100% supported that, us doing that for the Greek Independence Day 200 years. But it was something that came to me. I'm a new term council, and it came to me that if we are recognising the Greeks, which I fully agree with, it'd be great to recognise Israel. But you are correct that our main goal, and believe me, most of our time is spent on local government issues and making sure Randwick is remains to be the best LGA in New South Wales. Well,
that's a big claim. I think we'll finish on that as an objective. Daniel, look, thank you for making a stand.
Yeah.
We do like people who have values and principles. You can agree or disagree with someone's values and principles, but I think what you've done, particularly recently, is important and absolutely the right thing. So, Mazal Tov, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for having me on. Much appreciated.